Came out, ironically, it came out a month before, 2 months before The Dark Knight came out. So it came out in '08.
It's funny to see how that one stood the test of time, and I like Batman is. They need to put him on the shelf for a bit. I agree. I wish my number 4 was Iron Man.
Yeah,
because that, like you said, it started it all. It was a cool movie for.
Yeah.
And what gets me kind of teary eyed about it was like all these Marvel movies used to come out May 2nd, and that's my birthday. So like we would go see them on my birthday, and it was like, oh man, Iron Man, and then I always get it mixed up. Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, came out a month after Iron Man 2,
right?
Or was it?
After Iron Man 1.
It came out, so it was Iron Man came out in May. And then Hulk came out in like June. Right. I couldn't remember if it was the other way around. If Iron Man 2 came out first and then Hulk.
Yeah.
I always got it mixed up. But like that first Iron Man, like I was one of those people at the time, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us could say it.
Yeah.
During the after credit scene, I didn't stay.
Yeah, me either.
And it was something that like I didn't see that whole Nick Fury thing till the DVD, and I was like, "Oh, what's this about?"
Yep.
But like,
yeah, because it was something back then. Really, nobody really. I mean, you saw them in certain movies, maybe like in the X-Men movies or something. Yeah. But it's like it wasn't nothing you had to.
I would love to talk about that X-Men one, that X-Men 2 one with the Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
In the water, I was goosebumps. The Iron Man one, I swear, this is how novice I was when he was like, I want to talk. And people are making a big deal about this. I don't know if you heard about this. The Samuel Jackson doesn't say the Avengers. He says Avenger Initiative. And like people are pissed about it for some reason. I'm like, what difference does it make? But
that's weird.
When I first saw that,
I never noticed it either.
I never noticed it. But when I first saw that, I was like, what the heck? What is the Avengers Initiative? What is this? Like, I didn't know about the Avengers. I only know about Justice League because I was mainly DC. So, you know. But it was just funny because I remember people like, I can't remember where we were watching. It had to be high school. And like some of the I can't call them geeks now because I'm one of them, but at the time, the geeky group, they were all like, oh my God, this is awesome. I'm like, why are you guys cheering? Like, what's the big deal? And they were like, you don't know what the Avengers are? This is pot, you know. So yeah, I think that for a lot of Marvel fans back then was like, oh snap, what are we getting ready to get into? But I remember they were talking about filming that and like how it was top secret, nobody knew about it. Robert was leaving set. They were like, hey, we need you to come on for one thing. We need you to do one thing. We need you to walk in the door and be like, who are you? And
oh, you mean on the Hulk?
No, on the Iron Man.
Okay.
And like they kept it under wraps to the point where they said they drove Samuel Jackson's limo straight into the studio. Yeah. He got out the car, he went through a door, and he was on set. So they kept it like locked because they didn't know if Iron Man was a success, they were going to use it. If it wasn't, they were like, just something to have fun with. Right. But I remember Samuel was talking about it. He was like, yeah, I didn't know they asked me to come in one weekend. I came down. I got in the limo, drove up into a warehouse, got out. I was on set. They gave me my makeup, the eye patch, gave me my lines. I said it, and that was it. Got back in the car and drove off. Like, I didn't know it was going to be a post-credit scene. I thought it was just some testing or whatnot. But right. Like, when you hear that stuff today, it's like, wow. Like, it just makes me say wow because it's like, that was a gamble right there. It was either heads like,
it was a gamble as far as like money goes. It was a gamble on like Jon Favreau, who directed the movie, and especially a gamble because he was the one that vouched for RDJ to.
I'm happy to be in. I love Jon Favreau. Thank you, thank you so much.
So Iron Man, the first Iron Man is my number 4.
Wait, I want to talk the villain. Did you like the villain?
Yeah, I thought what was his name again?
Obadiah Stane.
Yeah. I thought he was actually out of the Iron Man series, he was actually the best one. Yeah. Because I didn't like Whiplash. Well, I had high hopes for him from the trailers, but I didn't like him too much. And the third movie, the Mandarin thing. Yeah. But I thought. But I think the twist. I guess you can call it a twist, where you think that terrorist guy is the villain, but then it's Obadiah who's the... I was so
mad. Looking at it now, I'm okay. Mm-hmm. But at the time, Ben Kingsley, like, you remember the trailers where he was like, yo, never fight me. Oh, like, that was like...
In Iron Man 3, right?
Yeah, in Iron Man 3, the trailers for that, how it was like, the Mandarin, like, this is the villain. Like, Mandarin, I hope which they should. Like... Dang, now if Iron Man, if Tony dies in this movie, I'm gonna be so mad. If they use the Mandarin, they set up everything in Iron Man movies. Mm-hmm. They had the 10 rings. Who the Mandarin? I don't know if in the comics he wore rings. He wore 10 rings on each finger, and they were like rings of power and whatnot. Mm-hmm. He had like a terrorist organization called the 10 Rings. In the very first Iron Man movie, when they're doing we captured Tony Stark. If you look in the background, there's their logo. It's a circle of like 10 rings, and like it has swords inside. So it's like they've been setting that up 3 movies. It's like, why not go ahead and use it? But I don't know. But Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin, I was so excited. I was like, oh, he's creepy. He's like, I don't know, but yeah. That's a good pick for number 4. Mm-hmm. Really good pick. Damn,
so you're number 4.
My number 4 would be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Okay. And this is solidified, right? Yeah. Okay. I enjoyed the movie. I loved it. It's hard for me. I would say 1, and 1 would be my number 3, if I could. If I didn't pick number 3 already, but oh man, so I look at it, Guardians Volume 2 is kind of like, I mean, it is the sequel to the first one, but like you can watch the first one and then immediately watch the second one. It would feel like a 4-hour long movie because it's like the time break between the two is just like 2 months or something like that. Yeah, so it's like you're getting right back into it. Mm-hmm. But the story is why I'm picking it for number 4, because I don't think I remember listening to James Gunn talk about the movie, and I was like, what? It doesn't make sense. You know, it's a generic story. You know, what you've been searching for your whole life it's been by your side the whole time. It's like, yeah, they kept showing it, and I'm like, is that enough to base this movie off of? And actually seeing it and like, it really hit me, and it makes me want to knock it up a little bit more. But like I said, if all these movies I can sit and watch with no like, oh, I gotta watch, with like anger towards it, like, oh, I gotta make it through this scene, I gotta make it. This one I just enjoy. This, like I said, the story. So just the little beats are fuck. I can't talk today. The beats where like Yondu and Rocket Raccoon are the same character. Mm-hmm. Where at the beginning of the movie, Rocket stole batteries. Why? Because he wanted to. Whereas it ends up leading to something bigger down the line. Same for Yondu. He stole a battery, i.e., Star-Lord, Peter Quill. Yeah. Because he wanted to. He could have turned him over to... Spoiler alert, Ego is bad guy. Could have turned him over to Ego, but he didn't, because he was like... And then you kind of get like... It's not even kind of... He actually fell in love with the kid and like was raising him as his son. So it's like that aspect thrown in there. And you don't see that too much in films. It's mainly like... In the first one, it was Peter and his mother's relationship that was kind of the backbone of the first one. Whereas this one, it's a decent father-son story. Yeah. And normally when you get those father-son stories, it's kind of like,
yeah.
But,
Yeah, and see, and that's interesting, because I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 would definitely be like a lot lower on my list, like because I thought the movie, I guess it wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be because I wasn't too...
And I agree with that. The first time I saw it, I didn't like it. I was like, I don't know what's going on. The second time, that's when I started picking up on stuff, and I was like, but I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah, because I wasn't even too thrilled with the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Honestly, I thought it was... I mean, like, everybody thought it was this great movie, and I thought it was really good. But to me, I don't know. I just kind of thought it was a little bit... It was too funny. Like, I never took it seriously, or the characters I felt like never took themselves seriously.
Yeah, the first time I saw the concept art for it, and I don't know if you guys are Marvel fans like us, but back then, remember how at Comic-Cons they would always release the concept art, like, hey, and it was that one shot of Rocket Raccoon, Star-Lord. They don't look like they look in the movie, but it was just like, hey, we're doing this movie. Here's some concept art. And they throw it on a giant screen, make it look cool. Right. But when they showed that, I was like, I've never heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, is that a raccoon with a gun? Like, is he going to talk? Is he just going to squeak? And it was, I'm happy they managed to pull it off. Yeah. Same goes for Thor. If Thor didn't work, Avengers wouldn't have worked. I feel like if Guardians didn't work, I don't know if we would be in Infinity War right now. Like, because a lot of that...
Yeah, because they bring in Thanos a lot more in the first Guardians,
And I remember they didn't even want James Gunn didn't even want him in the movie at all. Yeah. And I was like, rewatching the first one, it's like, how did you have that planned out? Like, it wouldn't have made no sense. Looking at it now, but
because I think James Gunn likes to kind of do his own thing and doesn't like to have to include other stuff that's going to lead to other stuff down. That's why I think the second Guardians didn't really have anything really to do with Infinity War, with the stones, nothing like that. It was just like its own thing.
And I think that's another reason. Like you're gonna be like Ant-Man, that had nothing to do with anything really. It was just his own. Guardians 2, it didn't have anything to do with anything. It was a good standalone, and that's what James Gunn is the reason we got like Taika Waititi directing Thor, why we got Ryan Coogler doing Black Panther and Peyton doing Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, because he's kind of came in and was like, hey, trust your directors, let them do their thing, and you will, and just support them, back them. Yeah. Give a couple ideas, help them make their vision the best it can be. And I think that's why, like, Thor Ragnarok, as funny and as colorful, as wild as that movie is, it kind of took the funny turn instead of following the formulas of, Dark World and the first Thor and because they're letting these directors do their own thing. So that's another reason I made it that was actually going to be my tab bit for it, because it was like, it's a landmark for Marvel saying, hey, do your own thing. Right. That's my number 4. Okay. And Groot dancing at the beginning. that whole opening scene. Yeah. Like, remember in the first one how Peter dancing was like, oh, this what the heck am I watching? Like, how you're always like, how are they going to top it? Yeah. I think Groot dancing at the beginning. When you think about it, like, you think you're getting ready to see this epic, because Marvel movies always open with that big fight scene at the beginning. Right. It teases you because you think you're getting ready to see this giant monster take on the team, and it's like, nope, let's focus on Groot dancing around it. So, I think that's hilarious.
Okay. Now, my number 3, I'm actually, because these two movies kind of connect to each other, I'm going to briefly talk about my number 3 at least. So, my number 3 is The Winter Soldier.
Why would that be number 3? Okay,
or Captain America, The Winter Soldier. For anybody that doesn't know what that means, it's my number 3. Well, when I first saw it, it was instantly my favorite, not my favorite Marvel movie, but my favorite solo Marvel movie. Like if in the MCU, favorite solo character movie, Winter Soldier was definitely it. Like I was blown away by it.
Why would that be your number 3? I would have pegged that at like 2 or 1.
I think it's better. I think
your one better like be the